This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Coming up this morning on Sunrise, lawmakers in the nation's capital are expected to introduce bipartisan legislation on gun control today. We'll have a preview from Washington, D.C. in just a minute.
And if you need to do any business at the Oregon DMV, be patient. Wait times are getting longer. Coming up this morning, what's causing these delays statewide?
And attention, summer lovers, we hope it gets here eventually, but this is Portland Margarita Week. We'll tell you the 23 bars and restaurants serving at their own take, and you'll be drinking for a cause, the kids' charity that hopes to earn $15,000 out of this.
Summer lovin' had me a margarita. Here we are on a Monday morning, kicking off the Sunrise Show, so lots to cover obviously this morning, but we also have some weather to talk about.
Yeah, this is a day that starts to dry out. Now with that said, we still have some rain out there right now. Here's the rainy area on radar. This is mainly holding just south of downtown Portland, although it's kind of inching up to the north. So much drier up in Clark, in fact dry up in Clark County for the most part up into Longview, but a rainy start for you folks down in Salem. Mostly cloudy skies over the city. We're at 56 degrees. So here's the bus stop. There's rainy areas I just showed you are expected to break up in the next couple of hours. We'll go shower spots out the door. Shower chance lingers throughout the day with temperatures getting up 68 degrees. We'll get some sun with partly cloudy skies developing this morning. Back to you.
All right, we'll have more from Rod coming up here in a few minutes, but right now we do want to get to our top story this morning. Congress returns to Capitol Hill with lawmakers expected to introduce bipartisan legislation on gun control.
But it will not include an assault weapons ban or comprehensive background checks. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Another weekend of deadly mass shootings across the U.S. In Philadelphia, at least a dozen people were injured and 3 killed.
We know ballistically that we had at least 5 different guns out there.
A bipartisan group of senators began work on new gun legislation in the wake of recent mass shootings. Negotiators say Congress is closer than ever before on reaching an agreement.
We are talking about a meaningful change in our gun laws.
Certainly can't guarantee any outcome, but it feels to me like we are closer than we've been since I've been in the Senate.
On the table are red flag laws, changes to background checks, and investments in school safety.
That's the kind of package we're putting together right now. That's the kind of package I think can pass the Senate.
But some measures don't have the support needed from Republicans, who say the focus should be on issues like mental health instead of efforts to raise the minimum age to purchase an assault weapon from 18 to 21.
Try to intervene and stop something before it happens instead of just immediately rushing to go take the rights of gun owners away.
Lawmakers will hear the devastating personal toll of gun violence this week when parents and survivors of the mass shootings in Texas and New York testify before a House committee. In Washington,
we thought that we wouldn't be here. And here we are.
That is the mother of Kyron Horman, who disappeared from Skyline Elementary School in Northwest Portland now 12 years ago this past weekend. Kyron was last seen June 4th, 2010, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has released another new age-progressed photo showing what Kyron could look like now, and this would be him at 19 years old with brown hair, blue eyes, might still be wearing glasses. He has a distinct V-shaped birthmark on his forehead. His mother met with reporters outside of the school Saturday, emotional and asking for help to find her child.
I hope that that helps somebody remember something that they've seen, know that they haven't been followed up on or re-interviewed. Over 12 years, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of tips, a lot of information that has to get followed up on.
The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is actively investigating this case. Anyone with information should contact their tip line.
Paying at the pump is not getting any easier. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of regular gasoline hit an all-time high of $4.82. And we know around here, it's worse than that. We took a look at prices from a year ago and compared them to today's prices. So here you go. Last year at this time, Buying 10 gallons of regular gas in Oregon costs an average of $34 and change. Right now, 10 gallons in Oregon costs over $53, so almost a $20 difference. Meanwhile, a year ago in Washington, 10 gallons of regular cost almost $36. Right now, it's basically the same as Oregon, $53 for 10 gallons, about a $17 increase in Washington from a year ago. All right, let's talk air travel for a moment, because the first direct flight from London to Portland landed at PDX late Friday afternoon. The new British Airways flight will have nonstop service to Heathrow 5 times a week. Portland now has 4 nonstop transatlantic flights, with this one to London, plus Amsterdam, Frankfurt, and Iceland.
Well, wait times at Oregon's DMV may be a little bit longer. It's dealing with a staffing shortage statewide. 6 locations have closed. 6 others have cut back days and hours. We checked on the office in downtown Portland and found customers peeking into windows wondering what the heck was going on. For the time being, here's the deal. This Portland location is only open Thursday and Friday.
If they know they need to come into a field office for something that can't be done online, like being issued a real ID, to plan ahead and either make an appointment or go online and check the office hours for an office they plan to visit.
The Oregon DMV also wants you to know it's hiring. You can find more about the job opportunities and the cutbacks if you go to our story on KGW.com.
All right, let's talk about the weekend and some sports, because it was a big win for A.J. Allmendinger in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Portland International Raceway this weekend. He led just 6 laps in the 75-lap race, crossing the finish line with only a 3-second lead. Allmendinger was the favorite heading into the weekend, but actually got pushed to the back of the lineup because of unapproved adjustments and had to pit after the first lap because he went into the grass. His wife Tara posted this video on Twitter saying, "Mama Dinger and I are amped." This is his 8th road course victory and 12th overall series win.
Well, as the NBA Finals continue, the Blazers are staying in the headlines after last week's ESPN report that Phil Knight made a $2 billion offer to buy the team. According to local sports columnist John Canzano, longtime owner Paul Allen had instructions to liquidate his trust after he passed away, and the money from that liquidation, including money from the sale of the Blazers, should be used to fund his other passion projects. Canzano talked about the possibility of Phil Knight owning the Blazers during an interview on the Dan Patrick radio show.
Why Phil Knight? And it feels like there's nobody. I mean, he's 84 years of age. But why?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Because for years we always thought that, you know, he doesn't need an NBA team. He doesn't need an NFL team. He doesn't need a Major League Baseball team. Through Nike, he owns them all, right? I mean, he's got his hands in everything. I think this is 100% legacy play by Phil Knight. Doesn't want an outsider to come in and own Portland's NBA team and perhaps move them.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says he wants the Blazers to stay right here in Portland. And as far as when a sale might actually happen, well, that's up to Paul's sister, Jody Allen. Canzano, though, says it could happen sometime here in the next 6 to 12 months.
The legacy thing makes sense to me. You know, that sounds right.
To finish out, then.
Keep him here. This is his deal. He's Oregon.
No, I know that you were questioning, how does the guy with that, you know, his hands in so many deals with his Nike label all over the place.
It just seems weird or odd.
But I like the idea of somebody keeping the team right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I say he's going to do whatever the heck he wants. Why shouldn't he?
Definitely.
He's Phil Knight.
Yeah.
Here's a look at Doppler radar this morning. We've got rainy areas mainly to the south of Portland, down through Canby, Salem, McMinnville. You're right on the back edge. This is just kind of hung up in the upper flow pattern. It should eventually break up and kind of sink off to our southeast, but the exact timing when that ends is somewhat of a question, a big question actually. Here's a look at cloudy skies for the most part in Lincoln City from our Chinook winds casino resort camera. Sun popping up before 5:30 now. We're at 56 degrees. Futurecast, here it is at 8:30. That's what the modeling shows to that rainy area in the next few hours that I just showed you. And then behind that, it's just a day with partly cloudy skies developing, a few scattered showers around, but overall becoming drier and starting to get out of the wet pattern that we had over the weekend. Here we are at 7 p.m. The rain chance will become 0 overnight tonight, and I have a dry day tomorrow before we have a little system that brings us perhaps a little bit of light rain again tomorrow overnight into Wednesday morning. Here are the temps to start your Monday. 46 now, Astoria, one of the cooler spots. Salem, 54. Portland in the mid-50s. We have 38 degrees, the coldest on the map, it looks like, out in Baker City. The temperatures today, upper 60s on average to about 70 in a few spots. Light west winds, partly cloudy skies developing, a lingering shower chance, as I mentioned. It is dry right now up in the Vancouver, Longview, Kelso area. You folks will have a shower chance during the day, but most of the time when you're out and about, you're just going to find dry conditions. Tomorrow, I think we could hit 80. It's a sunny start, clouds up later in the day. Then there's that weak system that brings us a shower chance tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. But basically, once that rainy area I just showed you breaks up this morning, there's not much rain in our forecast until we get to Friday. And then here comes Grand Floral Parade weekend. Now, I think it was at this time or maybe tomorrow, a week ago, that I told you some of the modeling was showing sunny and 90 on Saturday. So here's the about face on that, with the front coming in on Friday, and then the sun and showers over the weekend, 70 on Saturday, 68 degrees on Sunday, and that is your forecast.
All right, Rod, thank you so much. What is your favorite summer cocktail? I hope a margarita is on your list, because today starts Portland Margarita Week. 7 days of bars and restaurants across the city serving up unique twists on the drink, and the money from them is going to an incredible charity. All the details next on Sunrise.